Hey, Brandon here. Welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. Got another 2024 rookie report. Today we're going to talk about Mr. Jaylen Wright, 5'11", 210-pound true junior running back coming out of Tennessee. Kind of surprised he declared, but nonetheless, Jason DiRienzo, my podcast co-host, we're going to break it all down for you. We're going to go over his stats, his PFF grades, his scouting report, draft capital. We're going to give you some comps too. Where's he going to be drafted in our rookie drafts? We got it all for you, man. So hit that subscribe button. You play Dynasty, you play Fantasy, you're looking for a YouTube channel out there that's not only going to give you a in-depth look at the 2024 rookie class. Shortly after the draft, we're going to be turning right to the 2025 class, giving you guys profile players to get you early, in the know for next year as well. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get to it. Thanks for watching. All right, Jason, let's get into our Jaylen Wright rookie report. Running back out of Tennessee, true junior, 5'11", 210 pounds, really showed out at the combine. He was, I believe, the fastest or one of the fastest running backs at the combine. You guys know the drill for these rookie reports by now. I'm sure we're going to go through career statistics. I mean, he only had 2 years of real production at Tennessee. His freshman season, he really didn't do much of anything. So over really 2 seasons, 339 yards, over 339 attempts, rather, 2,100 yards, 18 TDs, averaging 6.4 yards a carry through 3 seasons. Caught 30 balls and 171 yards, averaging 5.7. Did have 5 fumbles in the last 2 years, which we don't like to see. You got to hold on to the football. So his PFF grades here, pretty solid all across the board in the highest percentiles. But it looks like 90%, rushing grade 91.2, his elusive rating 132.2, yards after contact 4.35, one of the best in college football. I mean, I'll tell you, it's one thing I did see about him is, we're going to get into a scouting report, but I think contact balance was something I think he can improve on as well. But number of carries, 15 plus yards, 19. So he shows you he's an explosive player, tied for 21st in college football. Yards after contact, 592, ranked 70th, and missed tackles forced, ranked 78th in college football with 43. So like I said, he really didn't play much his freshman season. So it was really a 2-year stint here with Tennessee. So we watched the all 22 film games. I cut it for you. The Georgia games, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt film. No better way to watch these guys. So I'm going to let you kick us off with the scouting report. What did you see watching the all 22 film?
Yeah, I'll just start. As soon as he gets the ball, you definitely see that instant acceleration, that cutting ability. Whereas as soon as he gets the ball, if he doesn't see a lane developing that he likes, the lateral change of direction is very fluid and natural for him. So he can definitely teleport himself to the outside perimeter pretty quickly. I like the juice that he provides to get to the perimeter. Um, when he has those open gaping holes, he is a threat to take it to the house every single time. Like, you can absolutely see the long speed is on full display. I popped on the South Carolina film. I think it was like the first play he ran it all the way for a touchdown, and you just see
Yeah.
that he takes advantage of those holes. He does not waste any movement. He doesn't waste any time making a decision when the gap is available. So I definitely like that. I like the receiving ability. There were a few routes that he ran where I was pretty impressed with just his navigation, the route itself, manipulating, keeping his eyes straight to the defender, and then just doing little head nods in order to throw the defender off and change direction to break in the route. I really like that. Tennessee has the same route that they use for all the running backs. I saw it with Jabari Small. I saw it with Dylan Sampson. I saw it with Jaylen Wright, where they just run up the middle right toward the interior linebacker and just fake and break left. And that is a fluid route for him. So I think his receiving ability is definitely going to be a dynamic NFL teams are going to love. The size is definitely there. I think the play strength is semi there. I saw him really get stuffed numerous times, but he's definitely competitive. He tries to keep his legs moving. I'm not sure if
Mhm.
that lower body thickness is there with the play strength. The contact balance at times, like if he gets a lower ankle tackle attempt, he'll be able to jump over that and
Mhm.
maintain balance. But if it's like a hip or a knee tackle attempt, he goes down a lot easier than I expected him to for a kid who's 210 pounds and has kind of a solid build in the upper body. So I think the contact balance needs some improvement. And then the instincts, I think he needs to process a little bit quicker behind the line of scrimmage. Like I said, if there's an open gaping gap, he takes advantage of it. But a lot of times, if there's not, he'll run to the perimeter. But I also see him not be able to get up the perimeter, like get up the red line once he gets to the outside. And I also think that he needs to be more instinctive on outside zone stretch plays where he doesn't need to get all the way to perimeter. He needs to
Yeah, he
keep
can
his
cut back
eyes on
in.
those developing
Yeah.
gaps that his linemen are creating for him and take advantage of those, which he doesn't. So I think there's some mental processing issues there. I wouldn't call it really vision, just how quickly he's identifying what he's seeing in front of him. It seems a bit slow. So there's definitely some issues there, but overall, the athleticism, the size, the receiving ability, I think that's all going to translate to the next level.
Yeah, I think you summed it up pretty good. So,
All right.
yeah, I mean,
I didn't
you
mean to
really
take it
did.
all. I just kept
No,
on going.
that's okay. I was like, "Go for it, my friend." I can't disagree with really pretty much anything you said. I mean, the guy's got the acceleration. He's one of those explosive playmakers, right? I think you're right. I think he
Mhm.
presses the line nicely, and he can bounce outside. But I agree 100%. It was actually in my notes on the scouting report. You know, when he goes outside, he goes to the perimeter. Like he never seems to maybe want to cut back inside. So
Oh,
he's a
surprised by that.
yeah, he's a 2-year player, right? Didn't play much at all as a freshman,
Mhm.
and, he didn't the one thing about him, if you look at his again, when I was cutting up those 3 All-22 films, you would be looking at it and seeing that, Small was, in there, Samson was getting some run, like, there he never got the full workload. He was always I don't think he got more than maybe 15 or 16 carries, like, in a game,
Right.
so he's not gonna be, I think, used at the NFL level as a 3 down kinda guy. I think he's gonna be obviously a part of committee like the majority of these backs are. But I'll tell you what, if I think he lands in the right spot, I think he's got the ability to. And when we get to our player comps, kind of a path in the NFL where I think he can do. But I think he does have some pretty decent contact balance. I know what you're talking about with his lower half. I do believe that
Mm.
he doesn't have that real big lower half to get off tacklers and get those all important yards after contact. But he's still a young kid, man, who I think gets
Right.
in the
Yep.
right weight room. I think he could probably add some of that. And all these players that we talk about on these rookie reports are all still in the developmental stage. There's only going to be 2 or 3 that are really uniquely skilled going in the NFL that are kind of already there and polished. So I think he's got a good base skill set that if he finds himself in the right spot, I think, and if he's developed properly with a good offensive line, I think he could be a useful dynasty asset. So let's talk about his draft and dynasty projection. I've got here on the player card the third or fourth round. I mean, the guy's gotten some buzz. I mean, he has that speed that you saw at the combine, and I think there's going to be an NFL offense that sees that speed and says, okay, I think we can use him, and get him out in space with the ball in his hands. Because I agree with you. I think he's a good pass catcher. What do you think about the third and fourth round draft capital grades or rounds?
Yeah, I think that's a perfect range for him. I don't see him as a second round,
Yeah.
type of talent. I think 3rd and 4th is good, so I think you nailed it.
So, and again, in rookie drafts, again, landing spot dependent, but either way, I think he's probably top 5 for a lot of people. I mean, I think he's a solid second round rookie pick. May sneak into the third if the draft capital's not there, but assuming he gets third or fourth round draft capital, I think I could see him being a solid, round 2 pick in our rookie drafts.
I completely agree with you.
All right. So as far as our player comps for him, I got James Cook. I think he's a little heavier than James Cook, but I saw the same kind of player, maybe a little thinner, didn't have the whole, the big lower half. But man, I'll tell you what, he's been really productive. I think he has been a surprise running back, James Cook, for the
Mhm.
fantasy community. I'm not sure how many people thought that kid, when he went to Buffalo, was going to be the starter and get as much production as he has. But I could potentially see Jaylen Wright getting a role similar to James Cook, where for at least for a period of time, he's given an opportunity to run the ball for a backfield. But I mean, from a player comp standpoint, with their frame and their ability, I mean, James Cook is probably a little tougher coming from Georgia, but that was my player comp for him.
I could absolutely see that. I mean, James Cook is a big playmaker, and that's exactly what I see from Jalen
Mhm.
Wright, and that's why I have my comp as Chase Brown. Chase Brown was one of those guys where he just if he has the ball and there's an open lane, I mean, he's gone,
Yeah.
right? So he's that big time playmaker too with that breakaway speed. Another thing too is that those big breakaways that Jaylen Wright had, South Carolina game. What was the other game? I think it was the Georgia game too. He had
Georgia
a
game.
nice big breakaway. But he's also the type of guy where those breakaways, we look at the yards per attempt and everything, and it kind of skews it a little bit. He's almost
Yeah,
like one of those kids where it's like, how many licks does it take to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop? Because unless it's a big breakaway, he's getting stuffed quite a bit. And that kind of bothered me a little bit. But that big
yeah,
playmaking ability, I see that with Chase Brown. So that's
yeah.
my comp for Jalen Wright.
Hey, Jace Brown and Zach Moss, right? He's in Cincinnati now. Could be the
Yeah.
1-2
Yeah.
punch they go with. So Chase Brown might get an opportunity, and I like that comp too because that could be the Jalen Wright kind of path as well, where he's a strictly drafted as a backup and gets his opportunity when they move off their
Yeah.
starter down the road. So there is our rookie report for Jalen Wright.